What up, ladies and gentlemen? This is Adam Magic, and I decided to respond to Zoe's and Meekakitty. Sorry, I'm just saw you guys' videos, and yeah, it's a whole dealing with anxiety and panic attacks. I know I've mentioned this before, but I think I just slightly talked about it. But I actually want to response with how I'm dealing with it as well. I've had anxiety since I was 13, and I'm 26, so it's 13 years of this. It's crap, pretty much. I mean, there's no other way to describe it. It's just a pain in the ass type of thing. And, yeah, pretty much how they're all saying, it's just how it is. I mean, I'll try to describe it myself a little bit. Anxiety and panic attacks, or do you have anxiety, then you have anxiety attacks, and you have panic attacks. Anxiety attacks and panic attacks are two different things. Now, a lot of people think they're the same thing, but if you pull back, they are pretty much the same. But there are very key aspects to which makes them different. One, an anxiety attack is you just worrying, just coming up with different things in your head. A panic attack is you believing it's going to happen. Not just going, okay, this is going to happen. No. In a panic attack, you believe without a doubt that that is going to happen no matter what. Also, with a panic attack, everybody, no matter who you are, no matter what situation you're in, you will always have an impending doom feeling. Panic attack or anxiety attacks do not come with an impending doom feeling. That's just how it is. I mean, countless doctors, countless therapists, blah, blah, blah. That is the main symptom that differences, puts them different from each other. And everybody has their own things. Panic attacks all don't feel the same for everybody. My neighbor, who's had panic attacks for 15, 16 years now, hers is way different than what mine usually is. Mine are based around health issues. I have acid reflux, so when I start getting bad heartburn, it starts burning, and the burning hurts my chest. Obviously, it's heartburn, and the pain in here. I know it's heartburn. In my head, I know for a fact it's heartburn. Feel my heart rate, it's fine. My friend takes my blood pressure, it's fine. Everything's perfect. I'm perfectly fine, except that it burns. But this burning, and it gets so bad, and people can have heartburn that feels like a heart attack. So with that in mind, it hurts so bad that I start thinking it's my heart, which then leads me straight to a panic attack. And then people think, oh, you can just stop it, you can just ignore it. No, you cannot. It will not work. Fighting it will, by all means. Fight if you can, if you want, if you know you can. And there are different ways of doing it. There are some people like to listen to music. That's one of my things. I listen to calming, like classical type of music, all that kind of stuff. Some people walk around, which I started doing somewhat because, I really don't get a lot to move around because of my anxiety. Moving around spikes my anxiety because my heart speeds up and I don't like that feeling. When you have anxiety for a certain amount of time, you start to become hypersensitive. It means you are sensitive to everything, panic or not. And anxiety is a 24-hour thing. It's not a here and there type of thing. You're always worried about something going on because, that's the thing. That's when you put under anxiety, when you worry about it all the time. Not when it's convenient for you or when you stop doing stuff. That's just panic attacks. That's not anxiety. There's a big difference there. Anxiety is a constant fear of something. So just, once a week here, twice a week here, that's not anxiety. That's it's a little irrational fear, and yeah, but pretty much, there's, like I was saying, I'm getting off topic here. There's, music. I do video games as well. There's walking around, there's working out. They say that lowers it, but like I said, mine goes with heart rate, breathing, and all that kind of stuff. If I feel weird at any stage like that, physically, then I kind of, I start getting all anxious, like I'm like, so I start like trying to take a deep breath to calm myself. People say, listen to your breathing. That doesn't work for me, but it works for other people. Some try a plastic bag or a paper bag. That works for a lot of people. It doesn't work for me because I think I'm just sucking in the carbon dioxide and then I'll start the kind of breathing. Sorry, I forgot what it was. Hyperventilating. So I don't even try that. You know, and the whole same thing comes with working out. You know, that was the main thing. That's why my anxiety is so bad, is because I kind of gotten out of shape with my anxiety like it was. When I first got my anxiety for the first 5 or 6 years, I was only afraid of cars. So here, I'll just lead you straight into where my first panic attack came from and where it led up to now. My first panic attack was in Colorado. I was in a car with my friend. We were just taking him home. And like nothing used to bother me back then. I mean, okay, I can't cry no more. It used to bother me. Like nothing used to bother me. You know, I'd go skateboard and all that kind of stuff, jumping around, yelling, blah blah blah. And then, you know, driving the cars real fast, having fun. And then all of a sudden, we're driving one day, and I'm in a car with my friend. My best friend was sitting right next to me. Our friend Jesse, who we were taking home, was sitting on. We were in the back. He was sitting on the far right side, passenger side. His little sister, my best friend sitting to me, was in the front seat, and his mom was in the front. They had this Jetta, I believe is what it was, the car was called, and it was kind of souped up a little bit to where the first gear when you shift it was like, you know, so it was really, really high pitched noise, and I believe they didn't have their muffler either, which made it even worse. You know, how the car passed emissions is beyond me. But all I remember is just feeling like I normally do, and then out of nowhere, bam, we get to the light at this bridge right before when we're like 2 minutes away from my friend's house. And the windows are down, this is like midsummer or so. And I start panicking. I'm like, turn on the fucking music now. I can't hear, you know, I can't think, turn down. And I'm starting to panic. I'm shaking everywhere. And even thinking right now is kind of like freaking me out a little bit. But, you know, and what really made it worse was nobody there knew what the hell it was. So when I'm telling his mom to turn on the music and all that, she turns around and goes, no, sit down, shut up. So I'm sitting there freaking out like this. I look over, and I shit you not, even he can vouch for it, and his sister and my best friend and their mom. Now, this was a 2-door car, the Jettas, you know, so we had to climb it through the thing. I look over, his sister's short, and my friend Jessie was kind of longer, so she was moved up, so there was somewhat of a gap like that big or so. I mean, I was a lot smaller than I am now. So I saw that first thing out of my mind. I didn't think about hitting anybody, doing anything to myself. I just saw a way out of the situation, and I leaped from the driver's side in the back all the way to the front window in the passenger side, all the way out. I landed, tucked and rolled onto the road. And believe me, I got up and I turned, there was a car coming, but I mean, it was pretty far away. But of course, this was at night and it was just bright headlights. I'm like, oh shit. So I run, and I'm sitting there shaking. I'm like, okay, what the fuck? What the hell? Come on. You know, and I think something wrong. But at that time, I didn't think anything about heart. I was like, why do I feel like this? This is pissing me off. What the fuck? Come on. So the first thing that popped in my head was the whole dream state. Was if you're dreaming, you can't feel pain. So I started slamming my foot on the ground. I'm like, it doesn't hurt, it doesn't hurt. And then out of nowhere, I'm like, okay, it hurt. Oh, yeah. So I sat down and I like bruised the back of my bottom of my foot. But of course, that for some reason, just that kind of knocked me out of the panic attack a little bit. And I ran back to his house because I was staying the night at his house. At my best friend's house, we were just taking our other friend home for the night. And I get back there and I come back, what the hell happened to you? Why'd you bitch out? You know, and to them and my whole family, it's a whole, you know, we're badasses, we're strong, we're these big ass motherfuckers, we don't, you know, nothing bothers us, whatever the hell. So, yeah, and then I went to the doctors, therapist and all that, and of course, out of nowhere, everything bothered me. The first symptom that I had was cars. I could sit in a car just fine, but if it was turned on, I got out, period. I started having the whole panic attack type of thing. My heart rate started going up, my blood pressure started going, I started like kind of freaking. I wanted out of the car as quick as I could. My mom thought I was just being stupid. She stuck me in the car. We were in a truck in my mom's car, and I was in the middle. My best friend's on the side. She's driving. She takes off not even 3 feet in her car, and her truck was loud, so I like book it. I almost pulled my friend out of the car, out of the moving car. He gets out to come help me, and she goes, "You stupid ass," and just drives off. So now I'm thinking, like, okay, maybe I'm just fucking completely crazy or some shit. Well, this is kind of sad for Colorado standards, is that it took them almost a month or two to find out what it was. To find out that it was panic and anxiety. And they asked me what kind of symptoms. And at that time, nothing bothered me. I would go running, I'd go skateboarding still. Me and my friends would wrestle. We'd like, fake fight and all that kind of shit. I would wolf down all my food and all that. But if it came to a car, I was done. I did not want to be near it, anything. So, and then it was also a swallow type of thing. And then slowly it started progressing into feeling like just out of randomness, like there was going to be an earthquake and I was going to start shaking my whole head. And I guess the doctors described that as just having vertigo. But then it also went to stuff like, the not swallowing. So I'd always be carrying around a 2 to a 3 liter of pop, but half the time it was either full of water. And I mean, people always got mad at me like, "Oh, come on, let's just get in. We'll get there in like 5 minutes. It's going to take you 30 minutes to walk." I don't give a shit. I'm going to walk. And for the longest time, for almost 8 years, I was just walking and riding a bike everywhere, or my scooter or my skateboard. And then my anxiety started kicking in. I mean, I was riding my bike for at least a good 10 miles every day. From my house to my friend's house to work and back to my girlfriend's house or whatever. And then just out of nowhere, I stopped because my dad got really sick. He has Parkinson's, so I had to take care of him. So now, with the whole anxiety, that made it worse, is what the doctors believe is. I'm already having anxiety, and then my younger brother got it, and then my dad has Parkinson's, and he's slowly deteriorating in my living room, and I have to watch him basically die slowly. So that's going on at the same time, so that's just making my anxiety worse. And then it got to the point to where I was homebound for like almost a month, but I couldn't stand it. I had to go out, and my younger brother wanted to go to the store. My other younger brother didn't give a shit. He bought his food, didn't care what anybody else thought. He thought we were all stupid. He was one of those muscular, high beat-up kind of people that were like, "Oh!" and start like punching a wall or some shit because he just got done working out. Now, that was a pain in the ass. And I mean, there are many different things that set me off now. It's random, it's best. I live stream. I make a lot of recordings for video games. And I mean, some of these video games, I'm recording like 4 or 5 hours in one day, and then I don't record, or I'm barely on the computer for the next day or two. Or I'm just editing the videos and I'm just listening to music, just trying to, chillax, help my dad, do whatever I need to. And then just randomly, I'll be sitting there just live streaming, like the other day. I'm just having completely fun, just talking to my friend Paul on there, and all of a sudden, bam, I'm like, okay, well, guys, I'll be right back. I'll put it on pause, go to FK, and I sit there and I freak out. I'm like, okay, what the fuck? And like, I feel my heart rate. My heart rate's like, do. It's like normal. I know that was probably a little too fast for it, but it's pretty normal for me. I mean, the doctor says I have a perfect heart rate. And hang on a second. The doctor says I have a perfect heart rate. Oxygen levels are fine. Blood pressure's fine, except for when I actually go in the white coat syndrome. But other than that, I'm perfectly fine. He said there's nothing wrong with you except for your heartburn. But none of the heartburn medicines actually are helping me right now, so they don't work. I take them every single day, right before I eat, like they say to, and they don't work. The only ones that actually worked are Tums, Pepto. I mean, those were over camera. Those aren't actually meant for just heartburn. But Nexium is the only one that's worked. But anywho, I completely forgot where I was going with that. Sorry. I don't like scripting out my stuff here. So pretty much it's just all this stuff piling on, and sometimes the anxiety gets so bad to where like, I get up and I want to go take a shower before my day begins, and I get in there, turn on water, stand in the shower, and all of a sudden it's like, bam, freak out. There's no warning of it. I'm like, I try to do it in the morning because that's when I first wake up. I'm really not thinking, and that's where my anxiety comes from, is thinking too much. I don't like it being quiet because I start thinking. When I start thinking, it leads into other shit. And the sound of the shower, to a lot of people, it's soothing. And to me, at first, it was soothing. But now, the sound of the shower, it makes my mind wander really rapidly fast, and it's annoying. And pretty much that, it's annoying, because I know, you have to take showers. And I try my best to. And then people are like, you didn't take one today? Man, kiss my fucking ass. You try going in there and freaking out. Man, you're just a little bitch. Fuck you, dude. But yeah, I mean, that's just how I feel against people who think I'm just trying to find a way out of doing normal stuff that I need to. Some people see anxiety and panic and all that as a attitude disorder. That it's our attitude. That it's not a mental disorder. It is our attitude. That's what a lot of people classify it under. People that will help you file for like disability or anything like that. Because they had me try doing that like 4 or 5 years ago, and I was like, okay, whatever, I really didn't know what the hell to do about my anxiety. I wasn't able to work. I still try to work, but I really can't do it. Like, oh, that'll help you. No. Whoever thinks that is a fucking idiot. But then again, I really can't say that because everybody has their own thing. I know people who have worse panic attacks than I do, and they can perfectly work and go run for 2-3 miles and feel just fine. But they can't do some of the other stuff that I do, like help my dad. They start freaking out. There's also different levels of anxiety. There's the social anxiety, people who freak out only when they're around a lot of people. I freak out when I'm around a lot of people because I am claustrophobic, and this was way before I had panic attacks, way before I had anxiety. I was claustrophobic and afraid of heights when I was a little kid. I would not get on rides, I would not go down roller coasters, anything like that. But you sure as hell would believe that I'd go running as fast as I could. I was almost, winning prizes and shit for as fast as I run, but I would not go on hikes or be in big crowds. Parties, I would always be on the outside of the party. I would always be out there singing and all that in the back. I'd be perfectly fine with it as long as I wasn't in there. But if I'm in a crowd, if I do not see a straight line out of it at any given time, I freak out. But then that also comes to the thing is, people think anybody with anxiety or panic attacks or like crazy people, you need to fucking listen to this one. No. They think that we're going to be like those shooters or anything like that, are going to freak out and just start shooting people or stabbing people or whatever. My fear, at least, is not of what anybody else is doing. I mean, it depends. Like, if somebody's playing loud music, yes, that's bothering me. I don't like loud sounds. I hate silences. I hate anything like that. So, with that in mind, I mean, the first thing when, like, the car was going off, I got myself out of the situation. I didn't do anything to anybody. Even now, I'll have really bad freakouts, and I'm just doing the dishes. I'll start freaking out. I don't sit there and grab a knife and start thinking that's going to, stab myself or stab somebody that's going to do anything. No. The first thing running through my mind is calm the fuck down and find out what the hell this is. But mine's kind of weird. See, my friend tells me, the one who's had anxiety for 15, 16 years, has told me that, oh, it's just your anxiety. To me, that sounds like a cop-out. But to any doctor, any physicist or psychologist or anything I talk to, oh, it's a panic. But to me, it's a cop-out, and I hate using it. Oh, it's just my anxiety. It doesn't go well with me. I hate just using that as an excuse. But at the same time, I want there to be something wrong, so I know the reason why I feel like this. Why, I work out and it feels all weird, but sometimes when I work out, I feel all pumped up. They show the little tiger people after they work out, and the ones who don't, it's got a little cat. So, there's that one, and it's random. And the doctor says, like I've said, perfectly fine to work out, run, and all that other good stuff. But, yeah. So, leading from that, it's just everybody has their own different ways to cope, and mine are pretty much, I sometimes get up and walk away. Oh yeah, there's also another one, there's scenery. So, you can look around, they tell you when you're freaking out, there's thought stopping, which stops your thoughts. You picture a way of you battling it. Some people picture like a medieval times and just swords and them beating down the anxiety. Make a a picture in your head, anxiety, you, and then you guys fighting each other. And don't let it, just say, oh, okay, I just slit his throat and I'm done. No, you gotta go with it. If the anxiety is pushing you and you're starting to freak out more, he's winning. But when you start calming down, now you're winning. And it doesn't have to be like that. I mean, some people I know just said that they were throwing Nerf balls at each other. And I know this sounds weird, but mine came off as a fucking Star Wars type of thing. Just the anxiety was the Sith, and calm, relaxed Adam was a Jedi. And they're battling each other. Nobody was killing anybody. It was just, disarming him. If I took his lightsaber from him and knocked him down, I won. If he knocked me down, that's when I knew it was in a panic attack, because it's once you do it once or twice, it's just there. You start thinking about it while doing other stuff. I know it sounds kind of weird, but yeah, there's that. But as you're doing that, I mean, there's different ways. There's the music, there's the walking around, there's the working out. I used to do Tai Chi whenever I'd start really freaking out. Some people will eat. I have hyperglycemia, so if I'm not eating, sometimes I start shaking, that freaks me out. So, just sometimes like a lollipop or I take a couple bites of some apples or take some peaches and eat some, and all of a sudden I'm like, okay, cool. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. There's also the scenery, where pretty much you calm yourself down by naming everything you can see. So me, I would sit back and go, okay, purple half walls, Japanese scroll. I name off like any drinks I had on my desk, and I would start like getting into detail after a minute. I'm like, okay, why the hell haven't I used that candle in a minute? It's been like 2 weeks. Damn, I should really eat those Japanese foods there. I really need to clean my keyboard. I love my new mouse, it's fucking awesome. And I look at my rat and I'm like, what's up, Gimpy? And he jumps up and we start talking to him for a minute. And you're like, and that calms your anxiety and all that. But yes, the main thing about anxiety and all that is your fight or flight. I can't handle my emotions, and that's what will set me off. I can't make troll videos. I can't sit there and yell real loud, because that physical exertion triggers my anxiety. So, sorry, somebody's waving at me. So with that physical exertion, it feels like it's doing. Somebody pisses me off, I start getting all frustrated and all that. It freaks me out. Why? Because I don't like being angry. I don't want to accidentally hurt somebody or anything like that, so it freaks me out. Even if it's just being annoyed when I'm on my Twitch and somebody posts something and they're like just being a complete troll or an idiot, I know not to let trolls get to me. It's not the fact of what he's doing, it's the fact that he's just being a bitch, and I'm like, okay, shut up, and then I'm getting mad, and then that's it. And it's even now, I'm kind of going into a little bit of a panic attack from talking so fast. Because now I'm starting to feel a little winded. And in my head, it feels like I'm not breathing correctly, because if I was, I wouldn't be getting winded. But my friends tell me I'm breathing just fine. I'm just not calming down. I'm not going slow. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And I mean, some people will ask you, do you feel okay? And that just makes it worse. I mean, like, you could be sitting there freaking out. You go and sit down, you're not like freaking out, but you're just like, okay, just relax. And somebody goes up, you okay? You're like, son of a bitch. Is something really that wrong that now it's physically seen? Because once it gets to physically seen, I think that's, in my head, I believe, okay, panic attacks in my head. I understand like what I'm doing can be seen, like, walking around, or like somebody who gets down on the ground and starts freaking out or something. That's one thing. But if I just sit down and I just like, put my hand like this and just like act like I'm just relaxed and just like so, people are like, you okay? I'm like, okay, why? What looks wrong? Do I look pale? Do I look red? Do I look like I'm having a heart attack? Do I look like my lungs are shutting down? Am I breathing bad? What the hell? Why would you ask that? And of course, I get mad about it, but these people don't know. They're just trying to be nice. But in my mind, the first thing that comes to my head is make sure I'm okay. And that just means getting myself out of that situation. But I actually think this one has been actually pretty long. I don't want to make it this long, but, talking about something like this, you really can't tune it down, I guess. You have to actually go into it. But the last point I want to make is when you have a panic attack, you also get the adrenaline. And that's where I can't handle anger or sadness or excitement or anything like that. Too much of it, and it starts freaking me out. I can handle a good amount of it, but except for anger, and then I'm done. If I get mad or upset, that's it. But excitement and happiness, all that, okay, cool. I'm like, yes, God, fucking it. But when it's like pissed, I'm like, I'm done. I'm like, okay, I need a break. I'm done. See ya. And yeah, like I was saying, there's the hype, there's the flutter. When I get into that mode, like when somebody pisses me off, I start getting to that fight or flight, which is adrenaline. They're not the two different things. They're the same thing. Fight or flight is adrenaline. Adrenaline activates your fight or flight. That's either you're going to sit there and fight what's coming on, or you're going to flee. You're going to, flee from it as fast as you can. And that stuff's strong. That stuff can make, really old people lift cars, or really obese people lift up cars off, that ran over their kid. I've seen women, very scrawny, like anorexic women, lift cars and throw it. I've seen really weak guys take down extremely big people because of so much adrenaline. But that's the thing, so much adrenaline, then your body kicks in the endorphin to tone it down so it doesn't, too much for your heart or your blood pressure or anything. As like a serotonin type of thing, I believe that's what it's called. It hits you and you're like, you also get those in panic attacks too. If you get so stretched out by your panic attack that BAM! And it feels like almost instant. So it's like your panic attack, you're like, everything like goes back to primordial, and then all of a sudden you're like, and that's it. So yeah, I mean, that's all I can really think of. Let me know what you guys think. If you ever had panic attacks, what are your ways of dealing with it? What triggers yours? If you can actually take it down to that kind of a level. Because if you can, then it's a lot easier for you to handle your anxiety than say for like me or my friend. Like I said, mine is triggered for random shit. I'll be sitting there all happy and then bam, panic attack, and it's about my lungs, or bam, it's about my heart. Bam, it's about this tingly feeling because I was leaning on my arm but didn't realize it. Or bam, something's gonna happen. Bam, this person's gonna hack my shit. Or bam, I'm pissed off at somebody and I can't stand that adrenaline rush. So yeah. And also, do you get the heightened sensitivity type of thing? Like when you sound, smells. I mean, I don't know where I can't smell anything in my room. I go into a panic attack, I can smell everything. I smell my rat cage, I can smell something that's downstairs. Hypersensitive to where you're sitting there and you can feel your heartbeat in your neck, or you can just feel it beating without trying to feel it. Most people can't feel their heartbeat when they feel their wrist or their neck. I mean, they have to search for it, but then they can feel it. If you have anxiety and all that, you put it there, bam, I can feel it instantly. Nothing wrong with it, it's just I'm hypersensitive to that stuff. So do you get the hypersensitive? Do you, what do you use to calm down? Do you use the music environment, walking around? Do you get to games, try to distract yourself? How bad is the impending doom feeling for you? I mean, there are countless different things that you could answer, but I just like to know what kind of stuff, if any of you are watching this, what you kind of go through and how you deal with it. I mean, there's some people who, like one of my friends, likes to be held when she's having a panic attack. Doesn't matter who it is, she just wants somebody to hold her. Me, on the other hand, I don't care for anybody holding me. I don't mind if somebody comes up and gives me a hug or something, but I don't want to be smothered. So yeah, I know I keep going everywhere, but thanks for watching, and I'll be looking for your responses. Later.